presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
This is awesome. Commentarez-vous. We're going over to Paris. What's happening?
Hey, Tom, it's Adam from Paris. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Adam, yourself?
That's good. Long time no talk. I appreciate everything you've done for me and my family over the years. So,
well, we appreciate you growling problem with us.
Yeah, sir. I've done gold reports and all the softwares and all your books and read it. Generational thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What is going on, everybody? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching you're listening to the Tom O'Brien Show. You probably can see my charts. Getting camera off for the day, but we'll be back on Monday when the makeup guy comes back in. You know, these lights flush you out, so sometimes we have to keep that camera off. Man, how about this market? It's kind of we're strong in the beginning of the day, coming back down right now. You know, there's so much attention on America right now. Obviously, Trump's been signing a bunch of executive orders. You'd have a bunch of investments. Obviously, a massive one from SoftBank. You get what it seems like the Saudis are giving us. What was it, $600 billion or something like that? Trump said they'll give us $1 trillion because Mohammed bin Salman's a good guy or whatever that means. You know, there's strength in that, and you're having the market come down right now. And I think there is some fear for earnings next week, right? You have some big earnings coming out. You know, I have written down on my paper. Let's just go through the earnings we have looking for, because I mean it's going to be an interesting week for sure. Give me one moment here. Yeah, so on the 27th we have AT&T. Of course, you have Nucor. That's fine. SoFi Technologies. You get Raytheon. You get Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Starbucks, General Motors on Tuesday. And here's the kicker on Wednesday. You get Microsoft. You get Meta, Tesla, ASML. This day is where the problems can come in, right? And we'll talk a little bit about this. I almost want to take out some shorts, and I think I have individual reasons for each one, right? Not just kind of a broad, okay, you know, these guys have been running for a long time. Can they keep growing at this certain rate? We're going to talk about it. I mean, I think Tesla, and listen, we go into the valley, right? I've always said don't short Tesla, but I think there's some stuff that has changed recently, especially with that $500 billion potential investment with OpenAI that can present issues for Musk. ASML, we've been speaking about this for a while, where we're getting out of mobilizing to develop these GPU clusters for AI, and now inference is going to be the important thing. And then we also have some insight into how this can operate without a bunch of really high-end chips from DeepSeek, which is the Chinese AI. You know, does that basically have a short in NVIDIA? Does it create a short-term short for the SPX and the Qs as well? Something to kind of think about. We can talk a little bit about that. That's just Wednesday. We go into Thursday, you have Apple, you have Visa, MasterCard, Thermo Fisher. You know, definitely check it out. Caterpillar is kind of interesting. You know, they have such a large dominance in construction. And, you know, no doubt I think that the data center build out will occur this year. I think that, if anything, will try to float this market a little bit. There's a ton of capital expenditure going into it. I mean, you know, Meta came out today and spoke about how, or Zuckerberg rather, posted how they're going to dump billions of dollars over 2025 to get these data centers out. And then on Friday, we have Exxon, AbbVie. You know, nothing as insane, right, as what we're looking at on Wednesday and Thursday. You have the SPY trading off 0.39% at 607.34. You have the composite off about 0.66% at 19,921. Dow Jones Industrial off about 0.41% at 44,384. And you get that Russell off about 0.35% at $2,318. Also cracking to the downside, trading at 107.46 That's off 0.36%. Crude oil also coming down. Gold contract, one of the only things doing quite well. And I say quite well. It's only up 0.59% at 2,781, looking like it maybe wants to reverse to that 2,800 level. Copper pulling back a little bit, off about 0.31% at $4.31. And then silver also doing well, up 1%. Let's see what else. Google's doing well. You have Lucid, for whatever reason, rallying to the upside. Doesn't make much sense. Meta up 1.59. And this is interesting to me, right? And one of the things we've been speaking about with Meta over the past few months is just how insane their CapEx is going to be to build out these AI capabilities. While the money's there and the money will flow for this kind of stuff, I wonder what the investors' tolerance will be for it. I mean, we can just pull this up right now. I mean, this is the Facebook post from Zuckerberg, because this is defining year for AI. In 25, he expects Meta AI will be the leading assistant serving more than 1 billion people. Llama 4 will become the leading state-of-the-art model and will build an AI engineer that will start contributing increasing amounts of code to our research and development efforts. To power this, Meta is building a 2 gigawatt data center that is so large that it would cover a significant portion of Manhattan. He has a map there. We'll bring 1 gigawatt of compute in 25, and we'll end the year with more than 1.3 million GPUs. He said we're planning to invest 60 to 65 billion in CapEx this year, while also growing our AI team significantly, and we have the capital to continue investing in the years ahead. That's a lot of money to be wrapped up, and if it doesn't pay off, you can run into some issues. You have this, and I'm going to save this, I think, to speak about a little bit later in the show, when we kind of go over NVIDIA, potentially ASML too. What the Chinese have done with this DeepSeek AI model, and this is supposedly all open source, right? I mean, people can look at what it's doing. I mean, we have that export ban on China for the H100s, and they're able to beat, or at least get near peer, with the latest model of ChatGPT, with the latest model of Google's Claude, with way less of the hardware requirement, And so this gets freaky if you get a lot of these big tech guys spending a ton of money on GPUs. Now, one of the things that can be positive is on the long term, if they figure out how the Chinese are doing this, whatever the code is that makes it more efficient, then we can, in theory, get a far stronger AI because we have more nodes and the efficiency is kind of is compounded, across all those nodes. But I think, we're spending a lot of money right now. We're not as efficient as something like DeepSeek, and I think that can create some issues. So it'll be interesting to see. It's kind of, this is a new kind of inflection point, I think, right now in the market. We were seeing this translation into inference, which is what we've been talking about for a long time. So the question is, can we actually do this? Can we do it for a decent amount of money? We'll talk a little bit more about this when we get back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstadt's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstadt releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Super watching the Tom O'Brien Show, talking a little bit about Meta's capex on data centers, AI going forward into 2025. Obviously, ChatGPT, rather OpenAI, getting some big money. Tesla, I think, is in some can be in deep water with that because Grok is not the one that's benefiting from that, and you could kind of see Elon Musk's somewhat emotional response to that on Twitter. But I want to talk about DeepSeek for a second, and kind of, you know, if it's true that DeepSeek is performing at these costs and at these levels, then we may be spending way too much money on building these GPU clusters. Now, it's not to say that it'll go to waste, but the question is when do they get fully utilized if we start building or adapting our AI the same way that DeepSeek works, right? So this is from nature.com. You can go check it out if you want. It's called China's Cheap Open AI Model, and you can find that. So what's interesting about this is really the cost, right? So it says DeepSeek hasn't released the full cost of training R1, which is this version, but it is charging people using its interface around 1/30th of what O1 costs to run. The firm has also created a mini, quote, distilled versions of R1 to allow researchers with limited computing power to play with the model. A, quote, experiment that costs more than $300 with O1 costs less than $10 with R1. This is a dramatic difference, obviously. And the Chinese have been spinning out these relatively cheap AI models that perform, you know, in the past they were obviously quite behind, but this R1 model is knocking out O1. This is OpenAI's latest ChatGPT, and Claude as well. It's useful in research, solving scientific problems, which honestly I think, I haven't played around with O1 too much, but ChatGPT is like really bad at. It's not very good at necessarily reasoning beyond trying to anticipate what you want to hear, because again, this was started as a way to kind of interface with customers. Now that's it's obviously changed, but that was it in its nascent stage. But yeah, it shows that its performance on certain tasks in chemistry, mathematics, and coding are on par with Google's and OpenAI's models. So this is kind of insane, right? Now, I don't know if that necessarily means we need to short NVIDIA and the Qs or whatever, because I think the demand for the chips will be ongoing, but I think we're gonna see a reprieve on it in the meantime. While all these things have been acquired, they're being built out, it is data center right now. That is the way to look at it. As far as Tesla is concerned, we have earnings next week for them, And while I am always hesitant to short Tesla, I think there might be maybe some grounds to do it. You're off about 1.09% right now in Tesla at 407.90. I mean, first things first, they report the first ever drop in annual deliveries. Okay, that's tough. We can go over that again. You had Q4 deliveries of 495,000, production of 459,000, total annual deliveries of 1.78. That's million, and then annual production of 1.7. Let's see here. Yes, 1.81 million deliveries decrease from 2023. It reported 484,507 deliveries in the fourth quarter of 2023. Of course, shares fell. But what is the argument right now in the immediate for Tesla? Okay, so they didn't do as well. They're having to recall cars from China. Maybe their cars aren't, it's not entirely clear, but maybe their cars aren't selling as well in China. There are plenty of Chinese models that are just totally dominating the market over there. Again, that recall, I think, was just a new thing from today. Grok is not necessarily getting, it would have been amazing to have Elon Musk's being there up with Trump instead of Sam Altman, or at least along with Sam Altman, but that wasn't the case. So OpenAI took front and center, right? These are competitive companies in some certain sense. And Elon just doesn't like Sam Altman to begin with. So, in my opinion, on the short term, it might not be great for Tesla. Now, of course, you can always get really rosy, forward-looking kind of deals. And of course, this whole industry itself is on the upswing. And I mean that for inference tasks. Grok being rolled out on Twitter was huge. A lot of people utilize that there. So I don't know. A lot of times how it is with myself and Tesla is I just end up not doing anything with it because you can have bad results and maybe it'll sell off for a few hours and then come right back. And of course, this is very resilient equity. But it's something to consider, right? They're not going to be competing on the same way as OpenAI is going to be competing. Let's move over a little bit to TSSI. Still one that I believe, I did get into a position on this. You're trading off from the high of today, which I believe was in the 1826, and you're coming right back down to 1653. This is up 1.90 from the opening. I believe they opened about 1601. They're ringing the bell. Okay, it went to a low today of 1601, opening at about, 1692. So quite a sell-off there. I'm going to pull this company up just so we can take a look at their website. But I mean, you want to talk about data center build out, maintenance in Texas, all these kind of things, right? I mean, this is TSS. It's like an SMCI, as I was saying the other day, that's not marred in weird, subversive tactics with third-party accountants, all this kind of weird stuff, right? And it seems like it's not getting attention. And that could just be the news hasn't caught up with it, right? Which is, we're talking about Nebius. Nebius had all the reasons in the world to run, but no analyst was covering it until recently. Nebius moved up extraordinarily today. I think we're up 11% at some point. But this is Total Site Solutions. And AI rack integration, they maintain the whole data centers, they repair if it's needed. They do a full suite of things. So this, I think, this whole industry in and of itself is going to blow up, right? You're trading at 402 million market cap right now. We take a look at SMCI, and I don't want to say they're exactly comparable because SMCI, has real tight deals with some of these big boys. But I mean, you're trading at a 19 billion market cap for SMCI, whereas TSSI is at 402. Now, I'm not saying this needs to be a $19 billion company. I don't think that's the case, and I think they have a lot of room to grow, but they've grown quite a bit. Margins aren't as good as they could be, but supposedly this is supposed to get a little bit better as they kind of scale up. They are heavy, deep into Dell, and they're expanding out with Microsoft and Walmart as well. So I think this potentially has some room to grow. I think if there's any significant pullback, which will really be affected just by the general market kind of going down. I will definitely add more to TSSI. Definitely do due diligence on that, of course, but this is kind of what I'm looking at today right now. And on stocks I've been speaking about this week, I know we had a kind of a short week and had a lot of, I wasn't on besides for Tuesday and Thursday. Of course, we had guests. But it's SPCB. Okay, so still in the general dark with this. Of course, we were speaking about how they issued 100,000 common shares to the bank that gave them a bunch of debt, or that holds a bunch of their debt, for $43 when this thing was trading at $15. And there's not really much conversation on this. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, and now it seems like we may be traversing back to all-time highs. In short, this market has been a whiplash and requires constant pivoting. Where does the market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento for the second and fourth Friday of every month for 4 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and his insights are invaluable. The next event is this Friday, January 24th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern. If you subscribe today, you'll also be able to attend his session February 8th. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, everybody. Jacob Schubert watching the Tom O'Brien Show, the Chilly Friday. It's Gasparilla this weekend, actually. I cannot do large crowds like that, but if you're going out to Gasparilla, please stay warm and safe. We got Micron Technology. Not much to say on this, although this has interested me recently. I think this might be its year to shine a little bit more. And I think the market sees this as well. Just want to get a longer kind of term on it. This has really been annihilated. You know, it wasn't getting a lot of attention in any capacity, did fine on earnings, gapped up, but then kind of just messed around until earnings again. I'm not sure, I don't know if this is forward guidance on it, but I think that their just dominance in the sector of high bandwidth memory is so important for this inference time, right? This is what the AI needs to actually do these things. And again, we are still going to roll out new models and still train things, but wrap the head around it being utilized in business, for research, for drug development, for military. Now it's time for this to start generating. You need this high bandwidth memory. It's somewhat interesting to me. I think MU has some potential it would be beautiful if we could see, last year's highs, right? I'm not sure if that's the case. Of course, we kind of need to wait to see how this shakes out going forward. It's still very early on. We just started speaking about data center investments. On that kind of note, I think this is very interesting what Trump is doing. I believe he gave the go-ahead for co-location, which is massive, right? So, I mean, you had things, I believe it was Nextera released earnings today. Yeah. And so this co-location development is massive because, they had this big discussion with FERC earlier this year where they're not going to be able to build the data centers near some of these power grids, the current power generation centers. Trump is, I believe, allowing it to some extent, but more about you can build your own next to your data centers, which is pretty massive. Again, Cat could be involved in this, somewhat interesting to look at. But Nextera had their earnings, so they're developing natural gas, expanding into it. So I think what's probably going to happen in the short term for these data centers is they will be fed natural gas, and the nuclear reactors I still think are there. There's been so much money dumped in from some of these larger companies to develop this. I mean, you could probably see things, I don't know what it is immediately right now, but in the past few days, Oklo was running big to the upside. Look, we're even higher right now, 8.82%. This is Sam Altman's thing. These guys don't even do anything yet, right? So you get a lot of speculation on that. And then NuScale Power, again, yes, you're off a little bit, but you can see the massive run up you've had recently in these. So again, that's speculation, but you do have some of these larger tech companies being like, we want to do nuclear. You have a lot of banks developing into Cameco Corporation, developing positions in it, which is super interesting. You're trading off right now, 1.86. But you can see, right, it loses kind of its attractiveness at some point. And then we get this discussion of the data centers, and this blows right back up. So in the short term, in the near term, you get natural gas, and that will be utilized, no doubt. But I think you're going to get some of these big build-outs for uranium. Now, the problem is that takes years. I mean, that will be a decade, and these guys are planning this thing for the long term because, one, it gives staying power to their companies, but two, it's basically existential. I mean, this has to be done. There's no arguing against it. These AIs need to be built, and they need to be powered. And you keep pumping natural gas, and that's fine, but really the wise way to do it on the long term is going to be nuclear power. So, I mean, I think my general kind of way of interacting with the nuclear stock still stands, whereas you buy on kind of just the general sell-offs, right, where it loses steam, and then you sell on the news. I mean, that's the only way I feel like you can actually do this in the short term without just being like a constant backlog. Of course, you can just hold the thing going forward, but I mean, a lot of uranium is not necessarily being bought right now. It's definitely not being utilized right now. And you're going to bring back these nuclear reactors back online, which is fine, but again, this takes a lot of time. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Some natural gas companies, these guys might be interesting to look into, especially if they're smaller, because I think the demand is going to be unbelievable. You have Trump echo the sentiment that a lot of other people have been talking about, which is there is going to demand so much more power than we even have, right? Now, it seems, this, of course, develops quite a bit. The thing that I think is the largest threat to this is if you make these AIs more efficient, right? Like whatever DeepSeek's do. Now, of course, it's still going to expand out and build out over the decades, and it's going to just demand a ton of power. But they figure out ways to run this more efficiently and therefore for cheaper, which is what's going on with DeepSeek, then maybe this becomes less attractive in that short term. So it's kind of something to keep in mind. But, Nextera is blowing up with this. They're partnering with GE Vernova to build power generation for data centers and factories. Nextera is also taking its first steps to restarting its shuttered Duane Arnold nuclear plant in Iowa. And this is just what's going to happen. It just is what has to happen. Some pretty cool developments on that. Nano, of course, is blowing up as well. Let me see here. I think that's NNE. You're up 6.77%, 45.64. A lot of the nuclear companies have been doing this. Now, the one that's interesting is that Lightbridge got smacked pretty heavily today. These guys do like a doped uranium. Again, somewhat interesting, but this is even more niche than just plain uranium or plain nuclear power. But yeah, obviously had a massive run up, right, at 1034. On decent volume as well. Coming into that volume somewhat off 22.54%. I think you're just getting so much speculation going on right now. And then, so Lightbridge and Oklo shares trading higher, non-binding memorandum of understanding to collaborate. But this, again, is just so far in the future, which is why I talk about my strat of just buying on these sell-offs, holding. It's going to ramp up. The news is going to continue. There's nothing that, at least in my mind as I see now, there's nothing that's going to come around that's going to be better on the long term than uranium. And they will continue to talk about it. And I'm sure they're going to build these things and they're going to bring them back online. So when you get those news stories, just sell the stock and then buy it on the dip and hold it. And this works. And again, that's not advice, do your own thing. This is just the way that I kind of look at it, and you've been seeing it. It's a little bit different for the SMR companies because those just kind of move. But for pure uranium servicers like UUU, UEC, CCJ, Lightbridge, even though this is a bit more volatile, it's it's been working at least for the past 6 months. So folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien. Welcome back, everybody. Jacob Shoup, Tom O'Brien Show. We get the last segment here. Of course, we have a short one afterwards, but this is the full one. Let's talk a little bit about, crypto. The U.S. securities regulator opened doors for Wall Street banks to hold crypto. You have Trump talking about a potential crypto reserve. Now, he didn't say Bitcoin, but maybe that might have been a little too on the nose, at least for Wall Street banks to be holding crypto. The Securities and Exchange Commission yesterday reversed guidance known as SAB 121, which had called for institutions to treat digital tokens held for customers as liabilities on balance sheets. The shift underscores, obviously, expectations that Trump will take a far more welcoming approach towards digital asset sector. Mainstream groups are already talking more seriously and taking interest in crypto assets and technologies. Obviously, we've been covering Larry Fink throughout the year, last year at least, when he's been speaking on it. I think you had, Jamie Dimon come out recently said that it was just not real, so why even do it? You know, I'm almost starting to I'm starting to almost get more, not bearish, and I think that's the wrong way, but I think skeptical is more of the word for it, right? I mean, you have these young guys hitting these meme coin trenches beyond comprehension. You had stuff going on with Donald Trump coin, Melania coin, which were pretty clearly rug pulls, right? You have things like XRP, which are blowing up on really honestly false promises. It's also not even really a decentralized coin. It's run by a single organization, and I think the reasons for people buying it aren't legit. I'm not sure that banks will adopt it. Even for cross-border payments, which we've been speaking about, and we went over that JPM letter. But this is it. Just my point in asking is what is the point of having a strategic Bitcoin reserve? What does that do for us? And I don't know the answer to that right now, and I can't really see it as anything else other than maybe pandering or maybe influential people at the top that just have the administration's ear or investing in it. I mean, it's a massive, if anything, it's a wealth transfer, It's not generating any value. I mean, you look at what happened with Trump coin and Melania coin. I mean, that was just, it was just net zero. There was no value generated from it. And so I don't know. And again, I'm not bearish on it. I mean, the past decade or whatever, 5 years, 6 years, have shown that would be the incorrect position to take. And of course, you have these larger firms getting into Bitcoin as well, of course, providing the funds and now maybe adding it to their balance sheet. You have a bunch of other companies buying Bitcoin and using that to increase their valuations. I don't know. It's just a very strange, this is a new world. This really is. And I think it's going to be some time before we all fully understand just what the heck is going on. And by the way, SPX getting 6,100 is insane, honestly. And we're making all-time highs again. For what purpose? I mean, I guess if earnings are good, yeah, you keep pushing this thing up. Dollars coming down. You have yields, you know, are kind of fluctuating, honestly. But yeah, I mean, you have XRP rallying. I think you had Trump at, or excuse me, you had Bitcoin at 106,207. That's up 2.18% today. I just don't know when this stops, and it's very weird. That's kind of my thoughts on all of this. Let's talk a little bit about Nebius, because they moved up today, and we've been covering this equity. You're trading up right now 8.93%, but you had a high today of 43.66%, which is about 11% gain for the day. Trading now at 8.4 billion. IV has increased substantially for the company. They have earnings February 13th, I want to say. They also have this, so AI Studio, very interesting, okay? So I'm going to read this kind of headline that they have. Today announced the general availability of a number of leading open source text-to-image AI models through its inference as a service platform. As if we need more double ASs, but it's just going to be what it is. And they're right. This is the move. So AI Studio offers a comprehensive suite of AI models to address rapidly increasing demand for high-quality, scalable AI image generation with flexible per-unit pricing. With newly added models is the Flux Schnell and Flux Dev. Schnell, of course, being fast in German. By Black Forest Labs and SDXL, respectively, users will have access to high-volume, premium-quality output with usage-based pricing. And this is their idea, right? You just buy these massive amounts of GPU clusters. You don't even have to do anything. You just get to host it. I mean, you're literally just providing compute. It is not very complex in any capacity, at least what they're doing. They're just buying the hardware to run this stuff on. And yeah, like what, cloud, but for AI compute. Kind of interesting. I mean, that is technically cloud, but it says here, the AI Studio's standard capacity of 100 million plus tokens per minute for text models enables app builders to scale high volumes of data while maintaining consistent performance. The platform's API with unlimited throughput delivery ensures fast and efficient processing of data without significant delays that often hinder production deployment. So pretty cool development for that. Definitely will be following this. I feel like options are a little bit pricey for this right now. Like calls, I was looking for that going like up to earnings, and then even after, and it just doesn't seem like that attractive. So, you know, if we get a minor pullback in Nebius, I'll probably add more. This is way above entry, but I still think this has potential to go up. And CoreWeave's getting valued even higher as well, doing the same kind of thing. And of course, they're breaking into the US and developing out of Europe. Europe is in an interesting place right now. You know, they've done not well, comparatively speaking. You had contraction of the German economy. France is having issues. I don't know what the heck's going on in the UK. That's not necessarily the EU, but you know, it's broad energy. Now, I don't have anything to really go off in saying this, but it would be very interesting to me if things get shaky in the US, right? Like maybe for whatever reason, we don't like what the tech earnings have, you know, pivoting, looking at things like China, looking at things like Europe. You have the European Central Bank saying, hey, we need to do a way, way better job of it, not only retaining our talent in the economic zone, but also pulling it out. So you had, I think it was the chairwoman of the ECB, someone very high ranking. She came out and said, hey, if you're disillusioned with whatever Trump's America, come to Europe. Yet another one of the guys saying, this was a few weeks ago, like had it not been for like NVIDIA, Europe would have actually done better than America. And I'm not sure how accurate that is. But you can see this kind of switch that's going on in their minds where they're like, we really need to get up. And I mean, Nebius being out there in Amsterdam, you know, I think Nebius has some good exposure if Europe decides to do something like that, you know. And again, that's just really more musings, you know, at the smoking table or whatever, but it is definitely interesting, and I don't think that's the case with Nebius necessarily. I think Nebius definitely has a sure path forward regardless, and of course a lot of the market does too, and this is still not even getting analyst coverage, so keep that in mind, but we are up pretty significantly in market cap. Folks, stay right there, we'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Jacob Shoup, you're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We got a short segment here, and then it is the weekend. We have the SPY trading off about 0.37% at 607.50. Composite off about 0.58%. Dow Jones Industrial off about 0.43%. Those Russell futures are off about 3.5% right now. Dollar at 107.47. Just to talk about the co-location a little bit more. I know this is kind of like the theme of this show today, but we'll pull this over a little bit. This is Trump is planning to use emergency powers to fast-track generation co-located with AI. He had comments on building power plants for data centers, appearing to align with the views of FAIR Chairman Mark Christie. So, I mean, that's huge. Let's see here. Earlier this week, Trump hosted several of the founders for the Stargate project, of course, as OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank. The project envisions immediately spending $100 billion on co-located data centers. You know, I want to talk about this a little bit more. And listen, there's a lot of fog of war here with China's DeepSeek. It might not even been true what they're saying, right? You had some CEOs say that they have something like 50,000 H100s, and they're actually skirting regulations, right? So maybe they're saying we have less and we're doing all of this with less. They could totally be subsidizing the cost, right? So it seems like it's way cheaper, who knows? But someone had said to me, there's this company, I guess in 2002, called Global Crossing. And I guess they were building fiber optics in the US. I mean, I was like 6 then, but they're building fiber optics during the dot-com bubble. And they were anticipating this massive demand, and the bubble popped, and there wasn't enough demand, and they went bankrupt. And now you have 28-year-olds who never heard about them before. And so if it's true that DeepSeek and however the way that the Chinese are doing their reasoning on these AI models is actually just demanding less compute power and is more efficient, are we running a risk right now of dumping, like first mover risk of dumping hundreds of millions of dollars in and having way too many GPU clusters, way too much data center space, and we pop a bubble? Who knows? Folks, thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back Monday morning.